oil. A very good price. It's worth almost $230.
Oh, wow.
All right, back with more with Sha-En in just a bit.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hello, everybody.
Good morning. Hey.
Shall we reveal the question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Today we're actually talking about how we can find hope in difficult moments. So the question we want to pose to you guys is, what is one thing you can do to make yourself feel better when you are feeling down? So how to make yourself feel up when you feel down.
Yeah. What is something that you do, Sha-En?
I think of all the times when I have triumphed over some of my difficulties, whether big or small. And I actually have this folder on my laptop that has pictures of those moments.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because I'm a very visual person.
Right.
So instead of just thinking through it, I like to look at the photos.
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
and that makes me feel good. Like, oh, I've done all that. It's me. It's legit.
Yeah.
Can you see the thinking of a scientist? She even knows the kind of person she is, how she resonates with, things that she interacts with. She's visual. I don't even know what person I am.
I mean, that's great because when you look at a photo, you're brought back to that moment, that memory, that happiness, And I look at a lot of like Cooper's photos, my dog.
I thought it'd be photos
and
of
then
me.
instantly I look at you too, and then I look at my dog very quickly. Because a lot of these pictures always garner that, reaction, he's such a sweet boy. And then that immediately softens or changes my mood and my temperament. So thank you for that wonderful
Yeah, and
tip.
just imagine if you have that and then you look back, then you realize that, it's not that hopeless after all. Right? Because when you lose hope, you think there's no way out.
Yeah.
But when you see those moments where, actually that time was also very hard, but I made it.
And
right?
funny thing is that even though it was a tough situation, we do forget.
Yes,
right? We tend
it's
to
true.
forget, right? We're
It's
like,
true.
oh yeah, actually it was really tough. It was
Yeah.
tougher than now.
Correct.
What
So
do
that's
you
a good movie.
What do you do, Levy?
I eat chocolate, dark chocolate. No, really, at least like 78%, right? Dark chocolate, just popping it in my mouth just takes my mind off it. I know it seems so simple, but really all I need is dark chocolate.
It's got antioxidants,
Yes.
so that perhaps
And
help
it's
you.
supposed to be a mood booster as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, so dark chocolate for me. Yeah.
I usually reach for some chocolate too. Yeah, you're not alone there.
Maybe now I will eat the chocolate and I also look
And
at
look
pictures of dark chocolate.
See,
and then-
combine two together.
I want to ask you a question. Sometimes when you're down, let's say you're going through a breakup or whatever, and then you listen to all these breakup songs, you cry and you feel better. But is that encouraged, or should you be listening to happy music?
Oh, good
Actually,
question.
I think music matches how you feel. That's why all these songs are so resonant with people. And I think one of the books that I read recently by Susan Cain is called Bittersweet. And she described this feeling of bittersweet and how music actually can convey and talk to your heart sometimes more than words. And so to listen to the music doesn't mean there's something wrong with you or that you should stop it, but it allows your emotions to flow. And actually, suppressing your emotion is a source of mental illness. If we keep suppressing it and not allowing it to flow, that can actually be harmful.
So it's better to let it out.
It's good to let it out. But of course, I think people worry that how long is too long, right? Yeah, and should we just be like, seeing everybody and moping every time over the same song?
Yeah.
I think we go back to the basic definition is how are you feeling? Are you able to function?
Yeah.
If that's catharsis is good for you, that's all right.
Yeah.
But if it's affecting your normal functioning, even maybe 6 months on or a year on, then that's something that we should be concerned about.
Oh, that's a very good, sort of benchmark to this whole thing and assessing myself, right? Is it stopping my normal functions? No, eating chocolate's okay.
Unless you're, trying to do some other bodily function, and then
You find chocolate.
yeah,
on the
very
laptop and all
difficult.
that.
That's true.
Want to say good morning to Candida and the party man logged on Facebook this
Wow,
morning.
hello, good
Hey,
morning.
tell us, what do you guys do to make yourself feel better when you are down? I think we're all learning here. It's a community when we can learn from each other. So Sha-En, thank you so much for always sharing with us your nuggets of wisdom. I would say,
my pleasure.
yeah.
Pure gold nuggets. Pure gold nuggets.
I'm learning a lot
comes in
about chocolate
nugget-
also.
Chocolate comes in nugget form.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out.
After all, there was chicken soup for the soul, right? So now we can have chocolate for the soul.
I would buy into that. I'll buy it all
We
up.
should just write the book.
Really? Yes.
No. It's like a book cover, and then you open, it's actually a chocolate bar.
Hey, nice.
Girls,
No
don't say
reading.
on Facebook Live. No, this is our idea.
The
We have
only-
trademarked it.
The only
Yes.
reading necessary is the chocolate flavors.
Oh my goodness.
Orange chocolate, peppermint chocolate, sea
This
salt
chocolate is hope. That one love. That one happiness.
Okay.
Eat this for joy.
Don't reveal so much on Facebook. We want to make this into, hey, this is our business coming up soon.
All
the
right.
next question. We have time for another question?
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this, okay? So, were there some of your own personal experiences about finding hope in difficult situations? I mean, you shared that this TEDx talk was about that, right?
Yeah, so that was during my secondary school years, and I was bullied for quite a number of years, actually from primary all the way to secondary. And I guess during those moments, as a secondary school child, you don't really know that you can feel better. I just remember feeling every day.
Trapped. Sometimes you don't know the
Yeah,
alternatives
that's
or
right.
options.
Yeah, that's why I titled the talk "How to Get Out from the Bottom of the Well," because I think I felt like I was there. You know, it's dark, it's dank, it's like you look up and you see the light, but it's like, how in the world are you going to get there?
Yeah.
And you just feel kind of hopeless that, you know, nobody seems to be looking at me from the well. Nobody seems to want to help me. I don't see any staircase out of the well. And then it's like, it's algae. Like, how do I even climb out?
Yeah.
Can I climb out? You have all these questions. And I know that maybe people who are listening will probably sometimes feel that way, right?
I think we've all been there, you know? We've had that moment for sure.
Yeah. And to me, it was like the first source of light was a teacher who actually cared enough to say, like, you know, you look like you're not yourself. You know, is there everything okay? And then we kind of spent some time together, and she helped me with my math. And that was when I started to think, hey, someone actually does care. Someone looked down the well and put a hand in, you know? It's that kind of feeling.
Wow.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just about reaching out. You know, you see someone who's feeling down and someone to just notice and ask, are you okay?
Yes,
Is everything
yes.
okay?
Ooh,
That's a very empowering phrase.
Yeah, which begs a question. I'm not sure if we have time for this, but maybe we can address it another time. But, you know, so you're in the well, someone reaches a hand out to help you out. But what if the person in the well pulls you down inside? And you're like, "Hey."
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Plot twist, plot
and that's how
twist.
people are really hesitant about wanting to help someone else,
It's
right?
true,
Because they are
it's
worried they
true.
might get sucked into it, you know, and then sucked into that cycle of negativity. What do we do?
I think if that happens to you and you're already there and someone, you know, reaches out and pulls you further in, you know, the point is that you're already there and the person is willing to join you. Now the question is that person going to actively help you?
Yeah.
Or are you both going to commiserate together and
Oh,
sit
dear.
together at the bottom of the well? Because sometimes like attract likes. When you're in that situation, people may gravitate towards you because they resonate with something that
Empaths.
right? Or that you're going through something and together. Well, then the reframe could be that I'm not alone.
Ah.
And sometimes that's important to know.
You are not alone. Michael Jackson sang about it. I understand.
With you.
Oh, hey, you got a good voice. Hey,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, we're jumping back live on air. Big thank you to everyone who is joining us on Facebook. Hello. Oh, Candida says she thinks of her many achievements and successes
Yeah,
when she's down.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
All
That's a
right.
good one.
Hang
Yeah.
tight. Debbie Gibson, we could be together here on 1FM 91.3. And yes, we are together again with Sha-En here on the Brightside, our happiness scientist, in to talk about finding hope in difficult moments. It's something that a lot of us have experienced before. So Sha-En, let's dive right into it. How can we find hope when we find ourselves in that difficult moment?
I think people confuse hope with blind optimism. So hope isn't just about, oh, I hope and it will come true, like making a wish, right? It really is a goal-oriented motivation to persevere towards something that you want to get to. So to find hope, we can think of a very simple acronym, GPA, not to get results, but G is for goal. So if you have a goal, no matter how small, that itself already breeds hope because like that's something that I want to work towards. And then P is pathways, which is
Pathways.
how do I get there?
Okay.
And many people make the mistake of only having one pathway. And because when that pathway fails, then you lose hope because your pathway to get there is gone.
So you need like plan A, plan B, plan C kind of
Yes,
thing.
correct. We think of multiple pathways because if one fails, then you take. And it also promotes hope because now, hey, you know, there are many ways to get to where I want. There isn't only that one way. And it moves us out from a very fixated kind of thinking.
And that already shifts your mindset for the
Yes.
better, right?
Yeah, because
you
then
just
there's
feel like,
possibilities as opposed to
yes.
roadblocks.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what is A for?
A is agency. So it's
Ooh.
like what inside myself a resource that I have inside myself or motivation I have inside myself that will enable me to overcome potential obstacles. Right? So if my goal is, for example, achieving a particular milestone in my career, I want to get to this promotion, right? And what's my agency? Why do I want to do this? Is it because I want to know that I've learned new skills?
So it's
That
like your motivation
Yes,
for it?
yeah.
Okay.
And it has to come from within, not somebody else has to give it to me. And so if we put all three together, this is a very simple framework to become more hopeful.
I don't know about you, Carol, but I was just been taking notes.
Yeah.
I'm always working my hardest like a student whenever Sha-En comes in because I'm like, oh my God, that's really good.
Teacher in the house.
Yeah, no, and I'm taking notes because I'm like, that is really good, Sha-En.
Yeah,
GPA,
Very-
Goal Pathway Agency.
Yes, simple and easy to remember as well. Okay, so moving on.
Yes, our next question is, how can we change the way we cope with a difficult moment?
I think many people cope with difficulty by trying to run away from it, dismiss it, or distract themselves. But if you do that, then you never actually get to understand what is going on. So, of course, at that point, you may think, but it's so painful, Sha-En. And all I'll say is that I know it's hard to be in those moments. But in those moments, if we can, take a few deep breaths to calm down and say, what is this situation really all about? What is actually happening? What am I truly experiencing? And allow ourselves to get those emotions out, whether it's by writing or talking to someone, so that we can sense make around it. Yeah, that's one of the ways, at least, to gain awareness. Because if you don't know what you're dealing with, then how do you know which strategy is going to help you get out? See, and many of us try what we Google.
Yeah.
But then if you don't know where you are again, then how do you know what you Google is actually helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is, a situation I see with many people. It's like, I Google already. Why I'm not happier?
Whoa, if only Google were that powerful.
Yeah, precisely. But say, how much do you actually know about what's going on, right? What has led to this situation? Is it only your fault? Many people think it's all my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is it only your fault? It could be circumstantial. It could be another person. It could be years and years of cultural baggage that you may not even be aware of. So, we need to unpack some of these
One
things.
question I've always found useful is it true? When we tend to hear statements about ourselves or other people, the first question that comes to mind should be, is this true?
Yes.
Yeah. Then
And how do you answer that? Do you try to search within, or do you ask somebody else, is that what you think of me or something?
I feel like both, right? Like if you
Yeah.
feel like something's always all your fault, then you have to ask yourself, is this true? And then you think, you try and be objective, you step out of yourself
Yes.
and you see it from a third person view.
Yeah.
And sometimes talking to people.
Yes,
as well.
definitely. Like we call this challenging. We challenge what our thoughts are telling us, and our thoughts aren't always accurate. So if we think it's all my fault, yes, we ask for evidence. It's an evidence question. How many times have I felt this way? Right? And number two is like, when I felt this way, what actually happened? And where's the evidence for that? And yes, your mind will search for evidence based on what you believe. So you will find plenty, right? That's all your
Yeah.
fault.
The
But then
negative
you need to
bias
ask-
kicks in.
Yeah.
Ding, ding,
So
ding.
you need
Like
to
full
ask
drive,
the
full
other,
throttle,
the
yeah.
other side. Are there times when it's not true? When it's not my fault, that it was really somebody else? And sometimes we find this hard to do because we are so bought into our own beliefs.
Yeah, many times the husband didn't wash the dishes. Not my fault. Just kidding. And finally,
What is one key takeaway from today as we discuss about finding hope in difficult moments?
Focus on the small things that are working. There will always be a lot of things that aren't when you're in that hopeless situation, and it's so easy to focus on those.
Or does
and
it
be
go to
overwhelmed.
plan, right? Does it go to plan?
Exactly. But if we focus on just one small thing that, hey, today I managed to do X, and that is good enough for now. Because I think sometimes we expect that hope looks like this big bright object that must make big waves, big strides, then considered we make progress. Yeah, but I think if we make small progress towards small goals, then we have got those pathways going. Right?
And the
then
hope
we
can
start to
grow.
then the hope can grow because we are making progress up those steps out of the well, right?
wow, nice.
So, Sha-En, I need you to sign right here. It says that you are going to adopt me. And, basically, just mother and nurture me. And I promise to do good for society.
She's a lot of work, I gotta say.
Will she give me chocolate? Maybe I'll agree.
Okay, yeah, totally. Lifetime
Or is she
supply.
expecting me to give her chocolate?
Well, thank you so much, Sha-En. I think as we've touched on a really great topic for today.
You're
Thanks for joining us in the
welcome.
studio.
Thank you for having me always.
We'll chat to you next week.
Absolutely.
Good times.
Greatest hits.
91.3.
Hey, thanks everyone for joining us on Facebook. Yep, that's a wrap. See ya.